In a world that's constantly pulling for our attention, how do you even find a moment of real clarity? How do you hear your own voice above all that noise? Well, we're going to dive into the teachings to try and map out a path back to our true selves, and hopefully unlock a much deeper sense of inner freedom.
Does this feel familiar to you? That constant stream of information, what everyone else needs from you, just endless distractions. It is so easy to feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions. And in the process, you kind of lose track of who you are and what you really want. And this isn't an accident. It's just the nature of the world we're all living in.
All right, let's start with the first big hurdle, the sheer noise of the world. Our senses, they're built to be open, right? They're constantly pulling our attention outward. Everything we see, everything we hear, it just bombards us, making it incredibly difficult to find that quiet space we need to just focus inward.
So what you get is this really powerful contrast. On one side, you've got the chaos of the outside world, that nonstop input, endless distractions, and yeah, other people's problems always demanding your energy. But on the other side, you have your inner mind, and that's like your own personal sanctuary where you can actually find genuine detachment and connect with who you really are.
This really hits the nail on the head. See, the solution isn't to somehow shut the world down. That's impossible. It's about learning how to step into our own minds. That right there is the first step toward freedom. But the challenge isn't just about the noise outside. There's an internal one too.
So, building on that idea of distraction, we also have to deal with what are called social compartments. Basically, we get so lost in all the different roles we play in life that we often lose touch with our authentic selves along the way.
Just think about it for a second. You might be a parent, an employee, a friend, a child. We switch between these roles, these hats, so often that it's easy to forget who the actual person is behind all those masks. We can get so lost in playing the part that our true self isn't even there at all.
This question just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? If we're all just interacting with each other's social compartments, are we ever really connecting? It creates this world where we can't genuinely communicate because the real person, the authentic being, is hidden away.
So this brings us to a really crucial point, the difference between doing and being. Doing is all about performing our roles, right? It's controlled by what's expected of us from the outside. But being is about existing from your own core. It's an internal state of freedom where you are simply, authentically you. Okay, so if we're constantly being distracted by the outside world and we're trapped in all these social roles, how in the world do we break free? Well, the answer is found in the practice of detachment.
Now, this is a huge foundational idea from these teachings. It's the concept that all our negative emotions, anxiety, anger, sadness, they all stem directly from our attachments. We get attached to specific outcomes, to what people think of us, and even to those social roles we just talked about. It sounds so simple, but it's an incredibly profound idea. When we cling to things outside of ourselves for our own well-being, we're basically setting ourselves up for pain whenever those things change or don't meet our expectations.
So, how do you actually practice this? Well, it's a process. First, you have to recognize your attachments. What are you clinging to? Then you have to truly understand the direct link between that attachment and the pain it's causing you. From there, you work to minimize the outside world's effect on your inner state. And finally, and this is a huge one, you learn to allow other people's problems to be their own, releasing yourself from the burden of trying to carry them.
Now look, this practice of detachment, it's not some quick fix or a magic pill. It's really part of a much bigger journey that every single one of us is on, the path of self-realization.
So the teachings describe our starting point in life as the earthly trinity. Now, this isn't a religious concept in this context, but more of a framework. It's that dynamic between the parent and the child, plus our own individual spirit, that core essence of who we are. This is kind of the initial setup that shapes our early experiences.
This whole journey really unfolds in stages. We start in childhood, pretty much defined by our family's influence. Then, as we become adults, we start trying to forge our own path. But the real spiritual journey begins when we learn to stop living through any external influence at all and start living completely from our own authentic self.
And this is just such a powerful reminder. At the end of the day, this journey is yours and yours alone. We can't live through other people's thoughts or their feelings. Ultimately, we are responsible for the quality of our own life, and that depends entirely on living as the individual we were born to be.
So,
What does all of this, the detachment, the self-realization, finding our true self, what does it all lead to? Well, it really comes down to two fundamental and totally complementary actions.
You know, the entire journey can really be boiled down to these two powerful things. The first part is letting go of everything that isn't you, the social roles, the attachments, all that external noise. And the second part is opening up to who you truly are underneath it all.
And that's really the bottom line. This is a path of self-realization. It's the only way it can be, because no one else can tell you who you are. Nobody can walk your path for you. It's an inside job, a journey each of us has to take for ourselves to find that real freedom.
So, as we wrap this up, the question isn't just about what you need to let go of. The real, the exciting, the life-changing question is this. Once you clear away all the noise, who is the person waiting to be discovered? Who will you find?